everybody? It's another episode of Last Give Podcast. We're starting up season. What do you want to say? 2022, the
Well,
2022 season.
you could say
I
it's the
guess
first
whatever.
episode of 2022. I mean,
Yeah,
what a better way to start it off than start it off with the two people that do the Last Give podcast. I mean, Run a Gun podcast. My bad.
yeah.
What a better
You
way?
ended us. You ended with us to end 2021 with us too, and you started with this us two. Pretty
Did I?
much.
When it,
Yeah. No. Oh, we
I s-
ended with Last Give. Oh, whatever. Who cares? I can't remember. Anywho, we're starting up the new year. We've already had some crazy stuff pop off in the sports world, and what, 3 days into the year? It is day
yeah,
four. Day
really,
four.
really, it was like 2 days into the year, but we're on day 4, and some crazy stuff that happened. We're gonna talk about it.
Yep. I
Everyone
mean,
has died to something. That's
yeah,
all.
there's some weird things going on in Tampa. That's the whole issue right there. It's like different reports coming out, each side saying like which side's wrong, whatever. We'll get into that. We have to recap that playoff semifinals. I guess we should. Isn't that what they're called? The semifinals.
Oh, I'm ready to
Plus,
talk about that. That's what I'm ready to talk about.
yeah, we'll
Couple
get into that.
couple of guys found some new homes too in Tallahassee, on both sides
That,
of Tallahassee too. So
mm-hmm.
that's pretty good, very interesting.
But
Couple more.
hey, make sure you like, share, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend before we get into this intro. You know how we got
Yes.
to do everything. Running Guns is back in what, 2 weeks? I think 2 Wednesdays from now.
Back in 2 weeks or whenever the money comes in.
So probably the 19th. We'll aim for the 19th.
Yes. So America, when the money come in,
Running
we
Gun coming.
come back. That's all I'm gonna say. So when Uncle Sam sends the money, running gun will come back. So y'all
Yep.
better talk to Uncle Sam. But
But hit
with
it.
all that being said, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just hit this introduction. It's gonna be fun tonight. I'm excited. First one of
Me too.
2022. Let's get it. All
All
right,
right, let's do this kickoff.
let's do it. Let's do it. So
All right.
what we starting off
All
with?
right.
Hit me with something. Hit me
Monday
with
Night Football. Let's hit this Monday Night Football. Staying with some traditions. Always hit that Monday night first. I
okay.
mean, here's the thing I want to say before we get into that. This retirement thing with Ben, like his last game at Heinz Field, I don't know. It just felt deeper than when Drew Brees had his last game in New Orleans. I guess because it was actually a full, like they would have the arena was full or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Superdome when the Saints lost to the Bucks, it was pretty much empty. But then
Yeah.
you see like Heinz Field, how it was roaring for Ben. It just felt tough to
It,
watch.
honestly, I will say like it did feel it felt very emotional. You could see the emotions on his face and everything. Part of that was just it was cold. It was cold as hell in Pittsburgh too.
Yeah.
But you could see on his face like the emotions were coming out and everything. And honestly, just like you and I both, I can honestly say this is one of the first quarterbacks we grew up. Well, for me, Peyton Manning too, but and partially Brett Favre, but I guess you can kind of say this is one of the quarterbacks that we actually grew up watching from start to finish,
Mm-hmm.
and now he rides off into the sunset. And I will say, regardless of what people may think and how people may feel and everything, he's a Hall of Famer. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I
I
think so.
doubt that.
Actually, what I'll say for that is you have to watch to see what happens with Eli. If Eli's the first ballot, then Ben is no doubt off first ballot.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
Eli's what 2 years from now he'll be due or next year.
Let's see. When was Eli's last season? It was what 2018.
It was the year. Yeah, it'd be next year's his last year. I think Daniel Jones has one more year on his contract. That's
Okay,
how I'm
so
gonna measure it.
19,
I'm
20,
assuming it's gonna be next year.
22, 2023. Eli
Yeah.
will be eligible for Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah.
So in due time, we'll find out. But again, if they like you said, if Eli gets in first ballot, Big Ben's definitely first ballot. Some people say and debate it, Eli's not first ballot. So I'm
Oh, he might be first ballot off of his name.
exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see. It is the one person I will say that's not first ballot Hall of Fame material, but he'll get in eventually. He's going to have to wait a while. Is Philip Rivers?
Yeah, Philip will have to wait, I think.
Wait,
but I mean, the thing with Philip, he never won the rings like Eli and Ben did, so I think that's what's
and,
going to be his thing.
I'm glad you said that because it strikes a comparison to another guy that did not win a ring his whole entire career, and but he got to the show, he got to the dance, and that's Dan Marino.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
But
because Marino at least made it. Philip he came close. I think it was he made the AFC Championship like twice,
yeah,
and he didn't get it.
exactly.
He played Patriots both times.
Yeah, and see the thing with Philip, the thing that you can kind of draw comparisons with Big Ben and Marino, and then also to Marino and Philip Rivers. Just like Marino, Philip never won a Super Bowl. Just like Big Ben and Marino, you could tell it was time when both of those guys were playing, because towards the end of Marino's days, he had bad knees and he wasn't throwing the ball like he used to, or he still had a strong arm, but he wasn't throwing it like he used to, and you could tell. And you saw the same thing really with guys like Peyton, guys like Breeze, and that's how all of them go out. Sad to say, it's just the truth. The arm strength is there when you get older. Tom Brady, I'm just that's what I'm trying to figure out what's in them TB12 supplements, because I want to find some and take some myself. I really do, because I feel like that man I've never heard that man being sick, so I just need to know, because I want to know what's going on.
All right. Well, enough being said, let's get into the actual game. The Steelers won last night. I mean, pretty much safe said. But, I mean, they had 9 sacks on defense. TJ Watt's up to 21.5. So, I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, JJ is like, imagine the only other player to get 20. Me and your older brother.
That's your defensive player.
I mean, yeah, he's got to get defensive player of the year. But, I mean, he won it last year, right? They didn't, or I can't remember.
Oh, ooh, that's a good question. Let's see.
He should have won. I think he won it last year, but he should definitely win it this year. Because there's people trying to make the argument because they say Aaron Donald's always going to be the best defensive player or whatever. But I mean, TJ's just been on a tear this year.
So last year
he missed a couple games, huh?
Last year it was Aaron Donald.
Okay, so I know Pittsburgh fans were mad that TJ didn't win it. So I couldn't exactly remember if he did or he didn't, but I know he should have won it last year. But they might pull the same argument again, like say Aaron Donald is like continually the most dominant force or whatever. I mean, TJ's just getting these sacks, and he missed a couple of games. So I mean, to get 21.5 and not even the full season, it's just you can't even say it was like the extra game because they haven't even got to the extra game yet.
It is Madden numbers, literally. So I mean, look, kudos to TJ Watt, man. I see a clear-cut favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think there's anyone that comes close. So that's the one award. That's the one thing Pittsburgh going to win this year. If there's anything Pittsburgh wins this year, it's going to be Defensive Player of the Year for TJ Watt. So I got to give him credit where credit's due.
Yep, 100% agree. All right, but I mean, they still can get into the playoffs. Which you want to get into these playoff scenarios?
I'm confident that Pittsburgh will. I like the playoff scenarios. Honestly, I'm quite intrigued by them. If we're being honest,
you want to get into the weird one first? They had this come out yesterday, so it's if the Colts lose to the Jaguars.
I
I
saw
think
it.
it's in Jacksonville. This game is gonna be in Jacksonville.
I saw
And
this.
they did lose to Jacksonville last year, week 1. That was the only game Jacksonville won.
Mm-hmm.
But they do play in Jacksonville. If the Colts lose that game, the LA Chargers almost in my head I was gonna say San Diego, but the LA Chargers and the Vegas Raiders could both get in if they just need the ball out the entire game. Like both of them, they just tie straight out.
Right.
Those two get in. Pittsburgh's eliminated. Indianapolis has to win and they get in. But if they lose, the winner of the Chargers Raiders game, and if Pittsburgh wins, would get in.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
that's
saw
how.
it. That's crazy right there. Although I'm not gonna put my eggs in a basket on Jacksonville, but that's crazy. If Jacksonville, and we've seen crazier happen before, if Jacksonville can win, we gonna see chaos.
I mean, you remember that game? I want to say it was 2018 too. It was Cincinnati. Tyler Boyd, he got that game-winning touchdown like 4th down that kept the Ravens out of the playoffs
Mm-hmm.
and it put Buffalo in. I mean, crazy things happen.
It does. And see, the thing is a lot of people are gonna say the end of the season doesn't matter. You're fighting for a draft spot and everything. Look, so a lot of people don't care about that right now. A lot of people want to win and secure them final bonuses. A lot of people trying to go into the offseason and on those long family vacations with a good taste in their mouth. A lot of people still
Mm-hmm.
fighting playoff spots. People gonna go balls to the wall last week of the season. The only team I think that really probably is coming in with nothing to really fight for and doesn't care anymore is probably Cleveland, because it's already been said that they're not going anywhere regardless of what happens Sunday. Baker Mayfield's already been ruled out for Sunday because he's having shoulder surgery,
Yep.
which honestly,
Okay, so for Jacksonville, the only reason I could see them trying to lose is so they can get the 1 seed over Detroit. Because if
mm,
they win, they would have 3 wins on the year, and then Detroit would by default get the 1 pick. But I mean, this year, I mean, it's really do you really need the 1 pick so bad? It's gonna be most likely either Hutchinson or Thibodeau. So I mean, is it that big? And if they're
they,
smart, they would take Evan Neal, but I don't think they will. I mean,
they
the
won't.
Jaguars, I mean, but it's not much of a big deal this year. It's not like a Trevor Lawrence type of player in this draft class. I mean, having the 1 pick is not such a big deal. So, I mean, Jacksonville could, like, if they want to play spoiler, just like Atlanta, if they want to play spoiler, like the Saints or the Colts, you go and you just play hard to try to play spoilers so your division rival doesn't get in the playoffs.
Right.
It could happen. It could really happen.
I'm with you because look, if I'm Jacksonville, I'm thinking about next year. I want to win the game, but I'm ultimately thinking about next year and draft position and stuff. But again, the number one pick doesn't really matter much here. Like you said, you get Thibodeau, you get Aiden Hutchinson. Who knows? A lot can change too leading up to the draft. Who might be
I mean,
proclaimed?
I don't think no one's gonna really like go all the way up. Like the only player I could really see, it's hard. It's gonna be probably Hutchinson or Thibodeau, maybe Neal. It'll be like one of those 2011, 2014 kind of draft class or 2013 draft classes. There's not a quarterback that goes 1, so it's really up in the air who can go 1. So
Again, I mean, my thing is, look, they need offensive line help. They do.
I think they need to focus on if they're gonna center around Trevor Lawrence, you go get Evan Neal, get the best
Mm.
lineman in the draft.
I agree. I agree. But
Unless you want to have him end up like Andrew Luck, that can always happen too. Just let him get his body destroyed and quit or retire. Can't take it anymore.
don't do them like that. Don't do them like that.
I'm just saying.
Look,
I'm just.
this the one I want to talk about right here because this right here. This is a mouthful. This is like being forced.
That whole situation is a
This
joke.
this right here is like being forced to eat your vegetables as a child, and you don't want to eat your vegetables, and then you being forced to eat it. Like you seen that episode of SpongeBob where the big old buff dude tied him up to by the little teepee poles and fed him
I think
peas.
so.
That's that's what this is. Because one minute you hear that the Uber driver says, "Oh, he went on a Barstool podcast and said, oh my gosh, he was just upset because he didn't get the ball," and then and then the next minute you hear he was hurt and he shouldn't have been in the game and stuff and whatnot. and everything. Just what
You want to break it down for the North American people?
I had the timeline of it somewhere. I really did. I'm trying to figure out where did it go? Because I
Yeah,
had a screenshot of it.
yeah. 'Cause this whole thing is it's kind of it's weird, and I kind of I think I told you all this in the group chat. I was like, what I think is this is an overblown version of what happened with Michael Thomas and the Saints. It's the guy like a player knows when he's hurt, when he's hurting or whatever, right? And
Mhm.
he doesn't want to go in, and then when the coach tells him he has to go in, and he says no, and I think Bruce Arians was just fed up with him, and he's like, all right, this is my opportunity to get rid of him, and Tom can't say anything about it. I mean, I feel like that's kind of what happened, but that's just my speculation on it. And then he came out and he said he was hurt and he didn't think. I was like, this is just weird.
See, my thing with that is this now because and first things first, the people that are trying to say Tampa Bay's racist because they didn't want to pay him his money and everything
No, that ain't it.
that that's that I'm sorry, but America, that's the dumbest thing I've heard.
I think they last year. I think they tried to make sure he can get his bonuses at the end of the year.
Thank you.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what
They
I'm pretty
made
sure in
sure
that last game they tried to do that.
they made sure he got his bonus and he got it. And then the fact to say that he was manipulated and done dirty so well he couldn't get his bonus this year. First of all, the NFL had a week 18 for the third time in the league's history this year. So he was going to get his money. He already cooked Stephon Gilmore a week ago. He was about to cook
Well,
Stephon Gilmore
he
again.
put Gilmore into the end of the season like IR, like groin injury or whatever.
Thank you. Like, are you for real right now? And then the fact of the matter is, low key, he did it to himself because what happened? He got himself suspended. He got
Yeah,
himself
that whole thing was just stupid though. That was him being stupid.
exactly. So if anything, if we want to really be politically correct, he could have locked up this a long time ago and secured that million. If we're being
Mm-hmm.
now with this whole thing with him and BA and stuff and being told to go into the locker room and whatnot and go into the game and stuff, like I said, a lot of these it's week 18. There's nobody in the NFL that is healthy right now. The only person that might be healthy maybe is Cam Akers because he's
He
finally
just came back.
exactly like he may be and
But the
likely
fact he tore his Achilles in what, July,
he tore his Achilles in training camp. Yeah, July, and now
and
he's
he's back.
back.
I mean, Quan Alexander tore his on Christmas Day, and he came back I think in like May. Like these guys coming back from Achilles like it's nothing. I'm like, what the hell?
Sports medicine's evolving. That's what it
Oh
is.
yeah.
Chris
Hmm.
Godwin, honestly, heck, he might be back sooner than expected. It takes a full year to really heal an ACL, but again, we'll see. It depends on the person, honestly. But I mean, look, he told a reporter he wasn't 100%, but he was going to try to play. And then the fact that, like, I'm not going to get into details. I'm not going to do this.
Was it because they were losing to the Jets? He didn't want to come back, or did he see what happened in Houston with the Rockets the day before, and he said, "I'm gonna just do this shit."
I don't even know what to make of this anymore. And then but again, the last thing I want to do is pin this on racism and
Oh
manipulation.
no, I don't think it was racism or anything like
It
that.
really wasn't. Like again, like I said, Bucks fans have done some dirty stuff in the past, like the thing with mailing a rotten watermelon to Doug Williams' house because he lost his 79 NFC championship. But this is not nothing to do with race. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
But yeah, move on. We're gonna move on.
Let's do some stuff. I want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's talk about this game.
Oh, I got it right here.
Yes, unanimous. Move it on. Like this should have been a done deal. If I see a single vote for like Mac Jones or something, I'm gonna just the
Yeah, no,
NFL's invalidating
yeah,
themselves. Like, come on now, it's Jamar Chase and it isn't close.
yeah. This is a blowout. This is clear cut. He earned it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else was better. He stands alone. That's all I got to say.
The one thing I like about the Bengals is you look at their last 3 weeks, right? Their
Mhm.
leading receiver 3 weeks ago it was Tyler Boyd. The last week it was T Higgins, and this week it's Jamar Chase. They got three guys who can. It's like so the Bucks. Remember we had this joke there like Brady had three number one receivers last year,
Joe
at the end of the season. Hmm?
Joe Burrow has that.
Joe Burrow. That's what I'm saying. Joe Burrow has that now, and he got the Bucks. Like Leonard Fournette didn't come on until like mid-season this year, but they got 1,000-yard rusher right behind Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon. I mean, you gotta think about that with them. And then they have like I think Trey Hendrickson is like second in the league in sacks, third in the league if I'm not mistaken. He's like top 3 or something like that.
Yes.
Well, we know who's number 1, but he's one of the 2 guys underneath him. But like they gotta get the pass there. I mean, the Bengals, they've had their letdown games. Like they have like a game where they don't show up entirely. That's like most young teams. But then they go and they do that to the Chiefs, going down 14-0 and then 28-14. That's just crazy.
All I'm gonna say is this: don't sleep on Cincinnati. Cincinnati's gotten to the show before and they've blown it, but don't sleep on that. That is a dangerous team. Them,
I mean,
Tennessee, biggest threats to Kansas City in the playoffs.
One thing I would have said though is they shouldn't have. I mean, winning the division is so great, but to be honest, I mean Cincinnati. I mean they don't even have an indoor practice facility, so they better hope that weather don't get cold.
Oh, it's gonna get cold. That's up north, and it's.
But they got Joe Mixon. I think they could run the rock if it's snowing or something.
They'll be fine. It doesn't. I mean, it's not. I mean, look again. I don't live up there, but I know it's not going to snow up there. It's not. It's not going to be like Lambeau Field or Soldier Field type temperatures, but it's going to be cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be cold, and then they're likely going to have to go to Kansas City for the AFC Championship or Nashville
or Tennessee. Or Tennessee. Yeah, Nashville.
I would much rather Nashville, but you know,
I think it's gonna be Nashville. They got the Texans. I don't think the Texans are gonna beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Titans rolling high right now. They're gonna if they win, they get the number 1 seed, and then you got Derrick Henry coming back. So I mean,
the 2 most dangerous teams right now. I'm telling you, the 2 most dangerous teams. Yeah, but let's go ahead
let's move over to the next topic. I'm gonna talk about Washington in the hot topics section. But let's go into this stuff.
Fair enough.
All right.
Look, I'm gonna start off with this. Klay Thompson coming back Sunday. Rest of the league is in trouble.
I think that Western Conference, like, I'd grab your shovels, start digging. That grave is gonna get deep fast. Potentially. Not like saying it's a done deal or anything, but I just grab that shovel and put it in your back pocket in case you need to start digging your grave. Those other Western teams. Their Warriors are the 1 seed. You got Klay coming back. Wiseman's right behind them. I mean, Curry even said he wants to see Wiggins get some All-Star votes this year. I mean, no knock on Wiggins. He's actually been good this season, but just hearing Curry say that about Wiggins is kind of funny.
I watched the ending of their game against Miami last night after Big Ben's send-off, and I was very impressed with the way that they were able to close that game out. Steph Curry only had 9 points. Everyone else around him took care of the work. Draymond had a game-sealing block. I'm sitting there. I'm like, ooh, y'all wait till Klay come back because y'all in trouble. The whole league in trouble. And LeBron, I think nothing LeBron can do because he can't stop them both. And he's got
the Lakers defense can't stop anybody.
Exactly. And then you got to worry about Phoenix. I like Phoenix too, but Phoenix, you missed your chance.
Phoenix should have won it last year.
Because look, this is the most consistent, attention to detail, dangerous team in the West right now. Ain't nobody else going to stop these brothers.
I don't know, but I don't remember if somebody said this, but this team just reminds me of that 73-9 team. You know, it's like with Curry, Thompson, Barnes, Draymond, and Pachulia, like Zaza. But it's like this year, like so far up to this point, like it was Curry. Poole was doing most of the work that Thompson was doing. Wiggins is a much better version of Harrison Barnes. Draymond's still doing Draymond things, and then it's been a revolving door of centers, but then you get Wiseman on top of that. You're getting Klay back, and then you still have Jordan Poole on the bench. Like,
exactly. And see, correct me if I'm wrong, but usually what we've seen in this era versus back in the day is Usually you draft, you go through the draft and you build up a team slowly but surely. This team was not brought together through free agency. Am I correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, so everybody's been on that team has been drafted by the Warriors except Wiggins because they got Wiggins because when KD signed with the Nets, it was a sign-in trade and they sent D'Lo back to the Warriors. The
Mm,
Warriors traded D'Lo to the Timberwolves. Timberwolves probably regretting that trade because they gave up D'Lo and a bunch of picks.
mm.
So that's how Wiggins ended up there, but everybody else has been drafted by the Warriors.
And see, that's the dangerous part about this, because now they're gonna be together for a little bit. They are going to be together.
That team will probably be together until Curry retires.
Exactly.
If the Warriors wanted to, I think that team could be together until Curry retires.
Exactly. So they took care of the money the right way. They didn't go to any outside help like LeBron consistently does. And that's the genius of a guy like Steve Kerr moving it, becoming going from player to coach. He literally looked at it as when Phil Jackson looked at when he was establishing the Bulls. And the only difference between that Bulls team and this team is honestly, hopefully, there's no one there in the higher ups in the office to screw this up for Golden State. I don't think there really is.
There's that. I don't think there's anybody in the higher ups that would screw the Warriors over like that. But then there's also the aspect of the Bulls. It was Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, like the second one, the second three-peat one, and
Mm-hmm.
then you're like, there's the guys who help support. Now this Warriors team, it's Steph, it's gonna be Jordan Poole, it's Andrew Wiggins, and it's Clay. Like these all guys who can like get you 20 points on a given night,
Exactly.
guaranteed.
And Steph didn't have to do it all by himself every night either anymore. That's the scary.
Nope.
But tell me more about this Trey Young thing though too.
Okay, so the Hawks they've been in kind of a funk, but I wanna get up the exact spot their record. Give me a second because I didn't expect us to go to this so fast. But all right, so the standings right now, the Atlanta Hawks aren't even in the playoffs. They are
Yeah,
16 and 20.
12th in the East. Jeez.
Yeah, that's yeah. Trey's been kind of been upset about that, but they're saying they're gonna be active at the deadline because I mean, Trey had 56, 14 assists, and they still lost 136 to 131. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like remember Dame last year, right? He was putting up these absurd stats, and they still weren't winning enough games. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing this year with the Hawks. Like, I mean, they've had some COVID issues given because I mean, they haven't had Collins for like a while now. Cam Reddish has been hurt a little bit. I mean, DeAndre Hunter, like, what the hell happened to DeAndre Hunter? I mean, Kevin Herter got paid, and I mean, I haven't heard shit about him.
I will say that yeah, see that's crazy. I actually had a lot of hope for Atlanta moving forward. I was like, all right, well, they scratched the surface. I don't really think they really tapped into their full potential yet. And I was like, all
I
right, they're gonna be back next year. They're gonna probably go a little bit deeper. They're gonna get closer and closer and closer and stuff.
mean, they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but I mean, Trey's
Exactly.
averaging almost 37, and they're 12th in the East. That can't
Exactly.
happen.
They got to build and get help around him. So look,
Mm-hmm.
either you gonna draft better, or look, scared money don't make no money. You got to go out there and spend and get him some help.
They need
Somebody.
to trade for someone. I mean, they were spending money. I think it was last year they brought in Gallinari or whatever. They
Mm,
signed Capella to big bucks. I mean, you're bringing in these guys, and then they're not like. I think they brought in Bogdan too. I mean, they're bringing in the guys. They're just not doing the diddly squat that they need to help Trey. That's simple as it is.
you know what part of that is? One, you got paid. Two, it's easy to get distracted in a city like Atlanta if you don't have the right personnel in the front office. Because you
That's
don't see
true.
these problems in Miami, which is a city with multiple distractions. Why? Because you got guys like Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra to keep people in line.
Oh yeah, they you remember the pictures with Kyle Lowry from when he was in Toronto to now.
Exactly.
They
So
make you work every day.
exactly. Because it again, like multiple former Hurricanes and Dolphins players, Miami's a city that can make you, or it's a city that can break you.
Tyler
And
Hero.
you and you have someone there that's going to make you work. Whereas Atlanta, you don't have someone there that's going to make you work. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But I
I
will.
mean, you ain't saying nothing wrong.
I got to give credit though where credit's due because I'm seeing it right now. The Chicago Bulls at 25-10 lead the East with the best record.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan. I was making remember the joke I put. I was like, yeah, Toronto fans, they're gonna watch this with some great interest during the playoffs to see which DeMar DeRozan you get.
Dude, I'm like I said, I'm excited. I might start
I
running more.
mean, they ain't got to worry about no LeBron James in the East,
They
but you got to
don't.
remember
But
there's a guy just a little bit north named Giannis Antetokounmpo who's going to be knocking on your door, and you need to be ready. But they got some pieces. They got Demar, they got Levine, they got Lonzo, they got Vucevic. I think
mhm,
Pat Williams is. I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know if he's out for the year, but I know he's been out a while. And
and
then they
what
got Caruso.
Lamelo, what he's the better of the Ball brothers, honestly. If I
Yeah,
say so myself. I mean, I like, hey, look, Chicago made the right move. Chicago's front office needs to not screw this up. Just stick to the plan. You got a nice core. Keep it going. Don't ruin this because this is fantastic.
this is the best they've been since the D Rose, or not the best they've been. Well, yeah, they've been the best since the D Rose days. They were good with the Jimmy, the Rondo, and who else was it? D Wade was
Yeah,
somebody else on that team when they went to the playoffs.
they
Might
wasn't
have
all
been him.
that D Wade though. Like D Wade,
No,
he
they
had
weren't that good, but I'm saying like this is the best since D Rose days. Like this
yeah,
team can actually go deep in the playoffs, not like a one and done type team.
I remember them D Rose days. I think honestly, D Rose would have got him there, and he probably would still be there if he had not have gotten hurt so much. That's my honest thinking because he was carrying him. He did everything he could. I don't think like Boozer and all those guys really did a good job of helping him out and doing as much as they could. I know Joakim Noah did his part and did what he could, but it just for the time they just
Yeah.
couldn't get over the hump. You had a strong Heat team coming on, but I like them now. If they can get past Milwaukee and Brooklyn,
No,
yeah,
Brooklyn. I think they're expecting Kyrie to play tomorrow in Indiana. He's supposed to play. I don't know who they're playing, but I think he's playing tomorrow. But I
we'll
mean,
see.
this part-time player, I'm not expecting too much of this part-time player nonsense because come playoff time, you're gonna have games at home. The guaranteed 2 games are gonna be at home. And I
Look,
mean, I don't think these COVID rules changing probably by May. So I mean, Kyrie need to figure himself if you want to be in Brooklyn or if they wanna deal with missing Kyrie Irving for 2 games in the playoffs every series.
we have a we have a comment that says
Just
hello.
saying hello, hi Tyler.
Not sure who that is, but okay. Uh,
All right,
Tell him if he wants
all
to talk
right.
sports, he can. But yeah, definitely. I do agree with you though. I agree with you. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I'm excited. I'm excited. Tyler's comment made me lose track of what was going on. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm making sure I put on the Twitter to head over to YouTube to read the comments if you're watching.
Yeah, that
I
was
forgot to say within the intro. I'm gonna go do that. All right,
yeah.
but what you want to talk about? The Rockets issues or the Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Month issues?
I'm curious to know about Frank Wagner and Josh Giddy's
Josh Giddies.
Giddy, Giddy.
All
But
right, all
uh,
right, all right. So we know December. Franz Wagner had the most points of a rookie this season. He had 38 a couple games ago. He's
hmm,
been solid defensively. He actually got like 6 steals off of KD earlier this season, but he's been over double digits in like 10 straight games or whatever. I mean, he was averaging like almost 20 a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And the
hmm,
assists could go up, but I mean, he's been mostly being used for the cutting and the scoring. That's gonna go up when Markel comes back. I can tell you that right now.
hmm.
When Fultz comes back, oh, his numbers are gonna be probably up in the 24 range because Markel will get him at least 5 easy buckets just off of cuts. I mean
Right.
that's and Fran's been doing this, and Cole Anthony hasn't even played much since like November. He's been dealing with an ankle issue. So I mean, when both of those guys come back, I'd expect you're going to see the assists will go up, and I think even the scoring will go up. But then Josh Giddey, I think he's now the youngest, if not like second. I think Lamelo's still the youngest to get a triple double, but Josh Giddey got a triple double the other night. He had like 17, 11, and 10 or some shit like that. But he got 12 on the month, 7 rebounds, 6.7 assists. So I mean, 7 assists essentially. So that's not bad. So I mean, these guys, this draft class, they said it was a very top heavy draft class. Like remember in the draft days, they were gonna see it was like a 4-man draft, and the 2 players who won Rookie of the Month were drafted outside the top 4. So it's just kind of ironic. But yeah,
That's interesting. See, I need to see. That's why I'm kind of glad football season's ending, so I can get back into my basketball and Disney Plus vibes and stuff. So that'll be good for me to see now. But let's jump into this college football. This is this has been interesting. I'm gonna hit you with a
what's
fun
part
fact.
about it?
Well, this is a fact that is going to come to fruition. It was 14 of the last 15, but now it's with the result of what's going to happen.
Well, we know who's the only one who hasn't.
Yes, we do. We do.
Ohio State.
Yes. And honestly,
In
here's
2015.
yeah, 2014. And the crazy thing about it is really also too, as I try to find it and find a way to word it, the only school still to this day that has won a first time national championship in like this era since the 90s is still the University of Florida's 1990-16 team when they blasted Florida State 52-20 in the Sugar Bowl. That's still the
That was
only.
in the back in the BCS era.
That was before the BCS era.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's way long.
Because think about how many teams have come along since then that had won championships. So you had like Tennessee, Florida State had already won one, Miami had already won one, Oregon came along twice, couldn't get the job done. You had, oh my goodness, Cincinnati just now came along, couldn't get the job done. It's been a lot of teams, been a whole lot of teams. Well, LSU came along. They had already won one. But I mean, look, I think the teams that I don't know who will come next after Florida. I don't really know. Because again, we're gonna probably find out after Saban's long gone. But it's incredible. It is incredible.
I mean, yeah. And then you gotta also remember the playoffs are expanding. The next year, the 12 teams gonna start. When's the 12 teams supposed to start? Like next year, 2 years from now?
I have no idea. Some people say it's not even going to work. It's not even going to matter based off of the semifinals that we just saw. But I mean,
I'm gonna say this. Don't kill me, people out there. But I think Cincinnati did better against Alabama than Michigan did against Georgia.
I think so too, honestly.
And Cincinnati got their butt whooped in the like offensive and defensive lines, but I mean, they still look more respectable as a team than Michigan did.
I forget that corner's name, but one of Cincinnati.
Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I think that was him. He posted, or someone posted a whole entire like sketch of film of the whole game where he was covering Jamison Williams, and he shut down Jamison Williams.
Yeah, that's what I said. I remember I said, were you paying attention last week when I sent out the thing I said, all right, I'm daring Sauce Gardner. I'm calling you out to go and lock up Jamison Williams because they don't got Michi on the other side of him. I said, if you do that, you have a chance at winning. Yeah, I didn't expect them to just run the ball consistently throughout the entire game.
Well, last multiple championships have been within the Power Five. Do y'all think teams outside the Power Five should start their own national champ? No, because it's
the Group of Five having their own championship.
I wouldn't say so. That's a whole other can of worms. I don't think that
that'd be a lot of logistics in that.
It would be, and then I think too with the inclusion. By the way, shout out to this guy, Ashton Harris. I met this guy at the Florida.
Good question. Is just
I met this guy at the Florida Classic. He's a cool dude.
Shout out.
when I was remember I was telling y'all like people were wondering where y'all were at and why y'all didn't come to the
Yeah.
classic case. He was one of the people that was asking where were y'all at. So we definitely got to get you and Flash to a Florida Classic. Go make that a mission for next season. But to answer this question though, uh look, I think with the recent success of Boise State in the 2000s and then 2017 UCF and then 2018 UCF and honestly too 2013 UCF and then Cincinnati having played Florida in the Sugar Bowl in '09 and then now and even last year
Georgia.
having played
They played
Georgia.
Georgia and only lost by 3.
I think that that's something that group that now the big names in the group of five like UCF, Boise State, Cincinnati, heck, even Memphis are going to say no to of creating their own
Well, they're
championship.
also going to the Big 12 too. Remember that. A bunch of
That
them in the group of 5 are the top dogs of the group of 5
mm-hmm,
are heading over to the Big 12. So you got to keep that in mind too, but
it's true too.
I mean, it wouldn't I mean, those teams in the group of 5 like the majority of teams in that group of 5 it wouldn't be I mean, at most, then you might as well just send them to the FCS playoff bracket at that point.
Yeah,
I feel like.
look, and that's the other thing too is that leaves room now for other group of five teams to come up. So everybody talks about the days of the Pony Express with SMU and Eric Dickerson, and they never really recovered from the death penalty, but they've recovered now. So this with those four moving up, Cincinnati, Houston, BYU, UCF, with those teams moving up, that makes room for new heavy hitters to come along. Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern on a good year, and again SMU. Those are the next dogs up the
Memphis.
line. Yeah,
I mean,
Memphis.
Memphis is going to be good, but you
Yeah,
get the
those
point.
those are the next dogs in line that are due to come up. So I could see it happening. I really could. And again, I know I reference former FCS teams when I say that, but that's a credit to their growth within the like moving from FCS to the Sun Belt because I mean it's been nothing but impressive, nothing short of impressive from those teams. So I mean it's going to come a day where the Sun Belt's going to start getting into these New Year's Six bowls because of those teams.
Yep.
But
All right.
I thought
I
about
hope
you.
it's not UCF. I don't think it'll be UCF.
It wouldn't surprise me, but it also wouldn't
Why would you want to
surprise.
go with Gus Malzone? I mean, let's be real.
Hey, look, some people like that. Some people like the SEC type of guy. He's coached. He's coached heavy hitters before. He's coached in the national championship game before. They guys, people believe in him. It's
I know Georgia's got Stetson Bennett and JT Daniels, but if you really want to see some madness, just go shoot up an offer to Caleb and see what he says.
yeah. Honestly, too, somebody mentioned it. Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, Ole Miss could see was after Matt Corral going to the draft. Lane
Mhm.
Kiffin makes sense. I don't know. Who does Clemson have in the on deck per se for the quarterback? I didn't exactly was too hot of what I saw from DJ Uiagalelei, but
They don't have
it's
anybody.
Dabo one. Caleb Williams will help that program out a little bit too.
See, I was thinking that too, but then I thought about it myself, and I was like, who's going to really help him out and develop him? Because
Yeah, that's
Tony
true. They
Elliott,
lost half of their coaching staff.
they lost their two biggest recruiters. Because
That's true.
I don't know if you ever saw Tony Elliott at Hillsboro, but Tony Elliott used to always be at Tampa Catholic trying to recruit kids. This is before
Can't.
ever anybody really knew who he was, but yeah, no, I met Tony Elliott on a few occasions. So I mean, dude, it's a Dabo's heavy hitters in recruiting are they're gone.
That
So
is true.
I don't know, but again, keep an eye on Ole Miss, but also too, I wouldn't rule out Los Angeles going with Lincoln Riley.
Well, for him, he needs to think about which one will help him pump up his draft stock too. So, I mean, SEC ain't exactly QB friendly.
True.
Pac-12. That Pac-12 is just off. I mean, no knock on the defense in the Pac-12s, but I mean,
Either you go to Oxford because you have an offensive guru, or you go to Los Angeles. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll take my hands off.
all right. Then let's talk about how the Gasparilla Bowl was better than the Outback Bowl, or you want to talk about the Rose Bowl?
Look, we can talk about the Gasparilla. That was good. Look, I got some numbers for y'all.
Let's
I
hear 'em.
got
Let's hear 'em.
I got some attendance numbers for y'all for this. So far, and again, I'm saying this because we don't know the numbers for the Texas Bowl yet. Texas Bowl comes on at 9 o'clock. So far, your top 10 bowls in attendance as far not viewership on TV, but in attendance is
Like the
this.
actual stadium.
Yeah. For one, Rose Bowl. Number two,
Surprise,
Cotton Bowl.
surprise. Surprise,
Number
surprise.
three, Music City Bowl
That's surprise.
between Tennessee and Purdue. Number four, Orange Bowl.
Surprise, surprise.
Number five, Sugar Bowl.
Surprise.
Number six, Gasparilla Bowl. Number seven, Alamo Bowl. Number eight, Citrus Bowl. Number nine, the Fiesta Bowl. Number 10, the Celebration Bowl. Yeah. And honestly,
I mean,
I'm looking at the records between LSU and Kansas State. I don't think that even though Reliant Stadium, if they still call it that, even though it holds more than what Atlanta holds, I still have faith that the Celebration Bowl is going to be in the top 10 of most attended bowl games this year.
I see that. I mean, the top 5 wasn't surprising, but here in the Gasparilla was 6 and Celebration was 10. I mean, that's not bad.
That's very impressive, and then it's in a COVID world at that.
That's true.
But like I said, I'm my bias is going to kick in here. I'm actually happy the Florida Classic. On as far as this list goes, the Florida Classic was technically 8th on this list, so boom. So in your face, or really in y'all's face, people that said Power 5 games matter more than HBCU games in your face, but I'm gonna be quiet on that. But again, I mean that's incredible. I mean, honestly, if can you imagine if you were to get, and it kind of sucks that the MEAC's not really full of teams that travel well anymore, but can you imagine if you'd had a FAMU meet up with, say, a Southern in this game before the move to the SWAC? Can you just imagine?
That would have been a lot of people.
It would have been maybe 60,000 people in Atlanta. I mean, it's literally the perfect meeting site between Tallahassee and Baton Rouge. But again, these things happen for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, I keep forgetting that this year was FAMU's first year in the SWAC, considering how well they did in it. Because, I mean, the only game they really lost in the SWAC was against Jackson State week 1.
Exactly. And then, the scary thing is too, I'm actually going to point out some of these commits they got, if I can find the tweet.
Yeah, bring them up, and they get a bunch the last 2 days.
They got a bunch, dude. It's the, oh my gosh, where is it? Oh my goodness, I can't find it anymore. I'm trying to find it. Oh my gosh, tell me that it is here somewhere, because it was actually very impressive. If I can find the names, you know what? Give me a second. I'm going to find these names. Okay, so Detarius Lee is actually one name, a linebacker that had multiple Power 5 offers, 4-star. Isaiah Major, JUCO's, I believe he was a JUCO safety. Isaiah Major, yes, he was. He was a JUCO product, plays hybrid linebacker safety coming in.
That's what most of these guys nowadays.
They got another guy that transferred out of oh my goodness, where is it? They got another guy that transferred in out of Texas A&M who plays safety, 6 feet. Dude, it's getting scary. And the thing about it is we know Dion likes to show off a lot of his recruits on social
The
media.
shiny toys.
Mm-hmm. FAMU does the opposite. So
Keep it hush hush.
FAMU X has another 4-star, Sean Battle, taking an official visit to FAMU, who's another JUCO product. It's getting scary, man. It's getting
Mm.
scary. They got a bunch of kids. They got another four. They have a 4-star defensive lineman actually getting ready to take a visit to Tallahassee when school opens back up. What FAMU opponents y'all want to see next year?
We just waiting for the Orange Blossom Classic rematch.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go first. I just want you to. I just
Well,
want
no,
you.
I'm just saying.
I want you to go first. Just say it. Just say it. It's okay.
What the Orange? I just want to see them play Jackson State again, and then we have the, was it the Alabama State one? When remember what the, who was the one we had for the homecoming and they was acting up?
Oh, the one for homecoming. That was Grambling. That was Grambling.
Grambling was the one, and then they went into another team's house for, it was an Alabama school for their homecoming, and then they had to come back. Remember?
Oh,
And the guy was high stepping. That was
Al-
Alabama A&M. Yeah. I always mix up which one is which one, but that one I want to see again. I want to see if they can have like that kind of fun time again. That one was funny. The Grambling rematch just to shut them up. Then you got the Jackson State one because I mean, come on, who doesn't want to see that?
Look, honestly, I'm looking forward to. I mean, outside of the classic, I'm curious to see who's going to be the homecoming opponent this year. I feel like it should be Southern, but I'm really looking forward to the rematch, of course, with Jackson State. I'm looking forward to definitely the rematch with Grambling. FAMU's going back to the hole for the first time since like 1993, and I got to agree with you again. It's definitely Alabama A&M because Alabama
That
A&M's
game was funny to watch.
they've accumulated all this talent. If Alabama A&M does not go undefeated, if FAMU beats them again and Alabama A&M just doesn't go undefeated and run the table in the SWAC this year, it really. I'm just gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and start saying stars don't matter.
Yeah, next count.
I would love to see that too.
I
That's
mean, I
what
got fed up with Alcorn.
that's what I'm curious. Yeah, oh, that's right. Oh, poor guy. I forgot about that. For those of
I
y'all
got
that
mad
don't
with
know,
him.
this man picked Alcorn for every game that we picked regarding Alcorn, and he never got one of them. Well, no, he got a few of them. Actually, no.
No, I think the last one, I think I got him right. Camera.
I know we had one. We had the one where they played Jackson State and they lost.
And then we had the MEAC swag, and they lost that one. And they lost a couple others. I think, did they play Prairie View and they lost?
Wait, let me see. Because
They played a Texas team and they lost. Pretty sure.
that's actually really funny. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we called them what,
They won
11-8?
that. They won that. They beat Prairie View.
Okay, so that was the one I got right, I think.
Okay, but I do remember. I think I remember we picked Pine Bluff one night.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that one.
That was the Thursday night one.
Yes.
And I
And
remember
Pine
that.
Bluff was doing good, and then they choked in the end, and they lost.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
I picked Pine Bluff, and Alcorn won that game.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, this is
Trip
just
down
looking at
memory
season.
lane.
But I am curious to see what the schedule looks like when it comes out. I wonder. I'm debating. In my head, will it look like it looked last year? Just the teams that were on the road, they're coming to Tallahassee, and the teams that were in Tallahassee, you got to go on the road and play them, of course. But I am anticipating and hoping maybe Alcorn and Prairie View are on the schedule, but I don't think Prairie View will be on there for a while. But it's going to be a new season full of new challenges and stuff, of course, because you got, of course, Dion, you got Hugh Jackson, and then you got
That's right. Hugh Jackson came down. I forgot. And the Grambling, right?
you got Coach Dooley who left Prairie View to go to Southern. So I mean, it's going to be just big names and stuff that FAMU's going to have to go against. Because I mean, really, a lot of these schools got beat up by FAMU, so they went out and hired some big names. So I mean,
it ain't always the names that carry us, so you got to keep that in mind.
Exactly. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of people in for a world of heartbreak and hurt if and when FAMU beats a lot of these teams again. Just saying.
Yeah. All right. You want to go into hot topics and do the Rose Bowl in it and the
Yes.
Matt Corral thing? Let's switch over.
Yes.
JSU because they're talking crap every day.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Look, I'm ready. FAMU actually has a quarterback now with the Vanderbilt transfer. Oh, I'm ready for that now. I feel much better about it. Plus, you got kids coming in still that are quietly coming in that people have still forgotten about. And there are some people on YouTube that proclaim FAMU is in trouble next year. But again,
I mean, they only really lost two big guys or three guys in the whole team, like from this season to last season to this season. It's only
exactly.
like you got Marquise Bell, you got Savion Williams, and I think Isaiah Land went. I don't know if he did. Did he? There
This
you
is
go.
why. This is why
That's
I
the
don't.
one I'm not sure.
This is why I literally close out of videos of certain people that make videos and stuff that say Xavier Smith is no longer with the team and he's going to the NFL. That's why I just close out of videos like that because that's not true. Xavier Smith's
Yeah,
literally coming.
I didn't hear if he did, but I know Bell and Williams already said they're going.
Yeah.
But I
So
wasn't sure about Isaiah Land.
I'm gonna talk to you about that actually after we get off the air tonight.
All right.
Some
All
magic.
right, well, let's get into this. Let's do this Rose Bowl thing.
Yes. Let's do
The
this.
Utah Ohio State showdown. That one was wild.
I'm gonna say it like this:
If you
if
liked offense, that was the game for you.
if Rushings doesn't get hurt, I believe that was his name. Rushings. If he doesn't get hurt
Yeah,
for
the Utah
Utah,
quarterback.
yeah, if he doesn't get hurt, Utah wins that game. But Ohio State stayed in the fight, and I got to give them credit.
I mean, you thought Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were good. I mean, then you go and you see Jackson Smith. I don't know how you say his last name. That
Oh
last part of
my
his name.
God,
Huh?
I forget how you say that kid's name. Oh my, it's
Yeah.
Jackson Smith.
I don't want to mess it up because when people mess up my name, I get mad. So I don't want to mess his name up.
I'm just gonna say Jackson Smith. Him and
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Marvin Harrison Jr. Ooh.
I knew Marvin Harrison Jr. was gonna be nice based off. I'm like, look who his dad was. But
I mean, there's some guys and their dad, and then you see how their dad is, and then you see them, and you're like, come on, really?
Marvin Harrison's son gonna be nice.
Oh,
Gonna be
yeah.
nice. It's gonna be scary.
I mean, Jackson Smith sent a new college football record.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
It
mean,
makes you wonder if Devontae Smith hadn't gotten hurt, that would have been Devontae Smith's record. But Alabama can't have everything. So, but I like Jackson Smith. Look, keep an eye on him. That's your Fred
I
Blitten.
mean, and also shout out Utah for doing that, man. Utah played good.
They did. They really did. And the fun thing is, we get Utah and Florida next year.
I mean, I think I'm gonna take Utah in that game.
You ain't lying. I'm gonna take them too. I'm right here with you.
I gotta see Florida play. I think our buddy Steven coming back next week. I was asking him to talk about these Gators since Gasparilla Bowl fiasco, but I mean I gotta see Florida fix themselves up against a big team before I even pick them against.
Florida's gonna have a quarterback controversy because AR-15 is coming back. Plus, Billy Napier brought one of his own guys in via I think the transfer portal, who was like I think either it was the transfer portal or it was like a graduate transfer kid or something, or he was a high school recruit. So I don't know who exactly is going to start, but I say start AR-15, but I wouldn't bank on AR-15.
AR-15 is like, I was watching him this last season. It's like he comes in like when he comes in on spot situations, he makes those big flashy plays that you're like, wow. And then like when he plays the game, you see the interceptions pile up, and you're like, yeah.
Damn moment recruit. Quarterback that can run the ball really well, but not the best thrower.
Yeah,
outside of Dak, but I will say though, but that brings me to
Mac Corral with the Kirk Herbstreit nonsense.
You start.
All right, this one is gonna be I don't want to go into the mini rant section. I don't feel like it right now, but So you guys know Kirk Herbstreit was saying how the guys nowadays they don't love the game when they opting out of these bowl games. And then you see, I think it was the same day, you see the number one quarterback for this year's draft, him or Kenny Pickett, you guys decide, whatever.
Mhm.
Matt Corral hurt his leg in like the first or second quarter, and it looked bad. I'm gonna admit, I thought he like hurt himself really bad, like out rookie year kind of bad. But then when they said his X-ray showed up negative and it was just like a sprain or whatever, it's like huge sigh of relief, thank God kind of moment. But in the time before they said it was like not bad, and to the moment when you saw him get injured, like that whole span, you're like, that man should have never played in that game because the NFL ain't gonna cover your insurance policy or whatever if you get drafted, and you're gonna lose a lot of money if your stock falls. So you got that, you got her in a bowl game, and then you're not gonna probably get paid as much, and you're not getting the benefits per se from the NFL if it doesn't work out even. And then you see like a guy like Jalen Smith, remember back in Notre Dame those days? He got hurt
Mhm.
in the bowl game.
That was the
He
guy.
fell. He fell out of the first round. He was supposed to be like one of those top 10 players. He fell out of the first round. He won the second round to Dallas. He worked out all right, but then you have that tight end in Michigan with like Jake Butter, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
He was supposed to be like a first round pick kind of guy. He got hurt. He fell into the third round. And he doesn't even play in the NFL anymore. And that was like 4 years ago.
I didn't think he was all that to begin with, but go on.
Well, he wasn't all that, but it's like you get the point I'm trying to make. Like,
Yeah,
see these
yeah.
top guys, they get hurt in the bowl games, and like they fall. They're gonna lose a lot of money, and then you're also not gonna probably be the same player per maybe after, and then you're not gonna make that second contract. So
I'll say this. Do I agree with Herb Street? Yes and no. I see his point, and America, we need to realize something here. Herb Street comes from a different era of football player,
that's
regardless of
true.
how good he may have been or he may have not been. And back in those days, guys still played in the bowl games and stuff. They didn't think about all this back in like the late 80s and the early 90s and stuff. A lot of what you see today didn't go on back then. People are more aware of stuff now. So I get where he's coming from when he says some of the players in this generation don't love football as much anymore. Because you have guys that love it like me, and then you have guys that really you can see are in this for a quick buck. So I mean,
I mean, there's also another reason if you want me to get into that. I mean, there's also the guys in it for the TikToks and the fame.
oh yeah, of course,
You can just look
definitely.
in Pittsburgh with Juju. I'm not gonna give Juju too much. I'm not gonna. I stopped hating on Juju as much anymore because I mean he at least used to run block and he wouldn't do the stupid stuff while he's playing. He'd do the stupid stuff before and after the game, but he wouldn't do the stuff during the game. But
Hmm.
then there's Chase Claypool who does the stupid stuff during the game for the fame and the attention and the
Yeah,
TikTok nonsense and all that
he needs to get his head out of his rear end. But
crap.
I mean,
I
I
mean, you
do.
guys are the
Yeah.
there's the guys who like the game, and then there's the guys who like it for the attention that they give them. So I mean,
Hmm.
there's two different type of players nowadays, I guess to say, but they're not like how Herb Street was. I guess those the blue collar like pick up the lunch pail, kind of hit you in the head, kind of stuff. No, it's just
Yeah. See, the guys are realizing how much money they can make now. The sport
yeah,
has changed.
change.
The game, whether we like it or not, again, football back then was aggressive. The protection wasn't the same, but the game has changed. The athlete has gotten faster. The game is more violent in a sense. It's just more protected. Yeah, it's more protected now. But the game, I would say, you know what? That's a different can of worms. I'm not going to go there. But it's there are fair arguments on both sides.
It's
I
like
understand.
evolution or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like again, I understand what he's saying, and then I understand what the younger generation is saying too. So I'm both sides have a fair piece of the pie in the argument. That's all I'm on.
Yeah, yeah. Respectable. All right. Do you want to? Which one do you want to talk about next?
What
There's
was
some stuff in here.
NAACP thing? And then
You was the one who brought that up first. You was the one who started. You was the one who sent that one first. So I'll let you do that one.
look, I'm sorry. I just want to say this. People
That
in
whole thing is a crap show over in Jacksonville.
I should know what NAACP stand for.
It's like
National
National Advancement or something like that. Association of Colored People.
National Advancement Association for Colored People.
Hey, why
So
do I know this and you don't?
I bet you I know more words to lift every voice and sing, and you don't.
That's true.
But yeah, see it. So I guess that makes us even. But look, I'll say that. I don't know if they know this or not, but do they know the Rooney Rule was put in place for this? So that way now every
Okay, so some of them suits over in most organizations they don't know much about football, I've realized. So I mean, like you and me would know about what the Rooney Rule is and what it does, but then there's some of these organizations they've never even heard of this. So
exactly.
I mean,
And
like you said, I don't think they've heard of this.
I hate to be that guy and say this, but the last thing we need is Al Sharpton to show up in Jacksonville for something like this, saying it was wrong that Kellen Moore got hired over. Uh,
They interviewed Jim Caldwell, so they interviewed him today. So they
yeah,
might
so the
move
Rooney
on
Rule's
from
already been
that.
taken
So
care of. Really, they should hire Jim Caldwell because if
Jim
anybody,
Caldwell is a good hire. I don't like the idea of hiring Kellen Moore, but that's just my opinion.
I think
I'd prefer a guy like either Caldwell, Doug Peterson. At least been to the Super Bowl. Like Kellen Moore hasn't done diddly squat. You've
mhm,
got Jim Caldwell has been to the Super Bowl. He has that expertise, and then he's also worked with Peyton Manning. Doug Peterson's been working with a number of guys. If you want to give that side of the argument, then you got Bieniemy and Leftwich, who've worked with good quarterbacks and have been to the Super Bowl. So I mean,
I'm a
there's
believer.
different guys out there.
I'm a believer of this. I think if you do bring in someone like Doug Peterson or Jim Caldwell, Jacksonville at worst will be a middle of the road team.
They can't
If
be
you can't,
worse than what Urban Meyer.
you can't be any worse than what you are now. Jacksonville can win at least 6 or 7 games, I think, if they get Jim Caldwell or Doug
No,
Peterson.
they'd win at least 7-8 with Caldwell.
Yeah, you because like I said again, you can't do any worse than what you just did. So it's a step. It's a big step in the right direction.
Yeah,
You need to get the right people in place with him though too.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't hire Kellen Moore's sake of because he would be a first year head coach just like Leftwich and Bieniemy, but he wouldn't have worked under the type of coaching tree like with uh Andy Reid and Bruce Arians. And wasn't Leftwich there before Arians showed up, right?
No,
Where was he before?
Leftwich was in.
Leftwich was somewhere and he was with a good head coach before. I
I
just
think
can't
he was
remember
in
who.
Pittsburgh.
So he came from Tomlin.
I
That's
think.
still I don't remember, but I know he was a good head coach, and that's what I'm trying to say. Is like Kellen Moore, he was a former backup quarterback or whatever, but he's been only working with what Jason Garrett and Mike McCarthy. I mean,
So he was
they're
actually
okay.
the Cardinals' interim offensive coordinator in 2018, and then in 2019 to now, he's been the offensive coordinator. Although I don't think that that's entirely right because he was not there. Oh yeah, he was there in 2019. He was there. So
He
yeah,
was with Jameis.
he was with Jameis. He came. He was originally. He's been with BA the whole time, really. But he was a
So
player in Pittsburgh with Mike under Mike Tomlin and Big Ben.
yeah, I'd look at that kind of thing. He got the structure mentality right with Tomlin. He got the
Mhm.
offense side right with Arians. I mean, and then you look at Bieniemy and even Doug Peterson. Like they were also like former guys. They got the right head coaching tree. Like they know their ways. They got the experience. And then you look at the guy like Kellen Moore, who's like what? He hasn't
Mhm.
even made the playoffs as a coordinator yet.
Mhm.
So I mean, I'm just saying that.
I'm with you. I'm with you. The other thing
I don't
too.
want to go kick the hornet's nest with that whole bunch of bees. Shit.
This right
They
here.
need a new everything. What you talking about? They're getting a new name next month. They
Yeah,
need a new owner, new stadium, new management, new everything. Get it right.
look, this isn't the first time that I've heard bad things about RFK, or not RFK, that's the old stadium.
FedEx.
FedEx Field. This is not the first time I've heard bad things about FedEx Field. Uh
They have
there's a
something
whole
wrong with their pipes too.
Yeah, so you had fecal matter leaking out of the pipes, or a pipe had bursted that had fecal matter in it.
Yeah, that stadium's a dump, just like the owner.
And the stadium actually ranked dead last according to NBC Sports in the survey.
Surprise, surprise.
So
Who was first? Out of curiosity.
who was first? I am not sure. But Jackson,
Don't worry.
Jacksonville and Cincinnati were down there too.
I'm not surprised about Cincinnati. Jacksonville, I thought because they had a pool, they wouldn't have been as bad. But then I also remember they never open up their entire seating because the Jaguars are so bad. So
Yeah. So actually, here's an
it's also
article.
that.
Name something to complain about, and FedEx Field has it, which is why it was universally panned among NFL Nation writers. The aesthetics of the stadium lack personality. The views of the field are poor, and in some cases obstructed. The stadium is in a bad location in East Washington, D.C., and tough to get to and park.
Here we are in the huddle with JP Finley and Brian Mitchell. Today we're discussing you got off to a really great start, guys. We look to the
Oh my gosh, where was I? That was from this article.
You were talking about you were quoting the article or something like that. They're saying it's like name something to complain about. They got it.
Yeah, parking is expensive, $50 a car, and there's virtually no history at the stadium. Only 3 playoff games and 1 playoff victory in 1999. And we haven't gotten to the downtrodden fan base, which has been beaten down by years of bad football and all the above. Turning from one of the most passionate and loyal to one of the most passive and defeated, contributing to a sullen atmosphere. But besides that, FedEx Field is fine.
Besides that is the funniest part about that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, like again, it's very crappy.
What?
Place to see a football.
Wait, are you telling me they haven't played a game there since RG3 snapped his leg?
They played the Bucks there last year, but I think before that.
Well, yeah, before that it was. Yeah, I forgot about that game, but yeah, before that was RG3 snapping his leg.
Yeah, it was. Oh wow! Look at this. There's even more bad stuff about FedEx.
Yeah, we might have to go on for another hour just quoting that whole thing.
And for a playoff game, it was surprisingly to see how poorly kept the turf or lack thereof was by the grounds crew. Viewers probably noticed that the field was very green and also too green until play began. Within minutes, the middle of the field was brown. Obviously, something wasn't right.
What, they spray painted the field so make it look green?
After injuries to RG, this is back in 2013, by the way. After injuries to RG, Chris Clemens, and even Marshawn Lynch, scrutiny has reared its ugly head. It's hard to imagine that NFL teams would put up with the lack of premier facilitation, but for years they have done just that. To this day, there are some NFL teams that aren't playing on the greatest of venues.
So I'm assuming MetLife's got to be up on that list too with the turf issues. I know a lot of guys have been either tearing their Achilles, tearing their ACLs, like they're destroying their legs essentially in MetLife.
Oh yeah,
the last 2 years. Remember what happened to San Francisco? They had like 4 guys tear their ACLs in MetLife.
I remember that. Jeez, this thing is.
I mean, let's just admit it. The NFC East. I mean,
yeah, it doesn't have the best fields.
They don't have the best fields, and one of the fields that is all right has 2 shareholders, Kyler Murray and Alabama Roll Tide. So I mean,
it's true. That's true. That's pitiful, but that's true.
I mean, wait, what is Alabama's mascot again?
Crimson Tide. It's an elephant.
Oh yeah, Alabama Crimson Tide. You get what I'm saying though. It's like Kyler Murray and Alabama's got more playoff wins or wins in general than the Cowboys got playoff wins since what 91, 99, something like that.
Since the
90s.
Since they moved in there in like 2009. Yeah.
So yeah, you hit the point.
Arlington is basically Tuscaloosa West. Atlanta's basically Tuscaloosa East. It's a pretty fair
Yeah,
statement.
Kyler Murray's 8-0. Kyler Murray's what, 22, probably 24, something like that. Kyler Murray probably playing football since I'm gonna say like probably been playing in that stadium since he was what, 8 maybe, or 11, something like that probably. So you get being 8-0, the Cowboys got less playoff wins than him. That's just not a good thing.
Pitiful by Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Jalen Hurts though. He saw those people almost collapse on top of him, kill him. He helped them up first, make sure it was okay, and then he goes right to that scathing thing about them, telling them to go fix their shitty stadium.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all.
Dude,
that's just funny. He just wrote that and he's like, y'all need to go fix your crap. Just go.
It's pitiful.
Yeah.
It's actually very pitiful.
All right.
Maybe I'll go look at pictures of old RFK Stadium just so I can know what Washington fans like want to know what it looks like to have a stadium again.
Yeah. All right. While you do that, I'm going to talk about Jim Harbaugh being talked about to go back to the Raiders. They think he's interested in the Raiders job. What do you think about that one? While you're looking it up, I don't know if that's the best of moves, but I mean, at least he was in the NFL before, and he knows how to run an NFL team and treat NFL players, unlike cough cough Urban Meyer. So I mean, I don't think Harbaugh would do bad in the NFL.
I mean,
he can transition back to it.
He's coached in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Super Bowl. He's led. He's had.
Why did he get fired again?
He didn't get fired. He left.
Okay, somebody. I don't even remember how he left San Francisco.
Yeah, he just left on his own.
That was after Kaepernick. I think. What after him? It was what, Kyle Shanahan. Was traded right after, so that was what, 2018, 2017. I feel like he's been in Michigan longer than that.
Hold up.
And then Joe Judge, he needs to go. He's trying to be Bill Belichick, and it's getting really bad. His impersonations.
I'm going to share this screen.
Saw that. We're just waiting. I'm stalling.
Oh, wait, hold on. You're yeah, just keep stalling.
All right, so Joe Judge, everybody's saying he needs to get fired because he did his Bill Belichick impression in the press conferences, barely saying anything, getting the mumbled voice, that sort of stuff.
Can y'all see that?
Yeah, we can see it. That's what a safe stadium looks like. Just blur out, put our pictures in the logo of the end zone.
Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
Look at the racism.
Look at the hands up in the air. Look how happy these people look.
Yeah, cheering on the pathetic team.
Just close your eyes. The year is 1987. The year is 1987.
Picture it.
Crockett and Tubbs just arrested a big-time drug lord. And the Redskins just won a Super Bowl with replacement players. Just look at it.
Hey, they got more Super Bowl wins than the Falcons.
They do. They really do. Look how happy these people look. And now they falling off the rafters and stuff and whatnot and can't even stay upright because they are literally living in the TV show 1,000 Ways to Die inside their own stadium. Pitiful.
That's a good one.
Get a new stadium, Washington.
Yeah, you think? Even Arrowhead's been around for so long, it looks better than that dump.
Because Arrowhead has a winner.
Damn right.
But go ahead, wrap this up. Go ahead, wrap this up.
All right, which one you want to talk about? The Joe Burrow split personality or the fantasy championship?
I like Joe Burrow's split personality.
Yeah, I thought so. Let me see if I can find the pictures while we do that. Well, you want to talk about it, or I should talk about it? Well, what do you think about?
I like it, honestly. I mean, I've known this since LSU.
I like how he did that.
He's been this way since LSU. I call him Macaulay.
Yeah.
Culkin.
You
Matter of
think?
fact, yeah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do this.
What? I can't type in locker room. What the hell? Google won't show me the locker room pictures. There we go. Sportingnews.com. Do you have the picture of it?
Oh, he was in Page Master too? Wow, I didn't know that.
What?
No, I'm saying Macaulay Culkin was also in Page Master.
He really does look like him, though.
Of course.
All right, you hear that? All right, let me see. Well, I have a video of him dancing, but I'm trying to find the picture of him with the I think it was Joe Mixon and somebody else, and then him with the other guys in the team.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so he's smoking the cigar, looking all good with his chain out, with those guys, with Joe Mixon and the other guy, and then when he's with the two white guys, he looks all civilized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he.
See,
really
look at this face,
like
man.
Ain't
This
that
guy.
bro?
This guy beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. This guy right here.
You think? That guy's the king of the North.
Exactly.
And the AFC, at least.
Man got left home alone, outsmarted two criminals. Got left home alone multiple times. Should have called Child Protective Services and took him. And then he won the AFC North. How about that?
How about that?
That's a legend right there.
How about them Bengals? Not them Cowboys. Them Cowboys can't win when they need to. Accident waiting to happen. Them Bengals. How about them Bengals?
Looking at it, Kansas State just scored a touchdown.
Good for them.
Mm.
Who's Kansas State? The Kansas State's right behind you.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So, how many people you think won their fantasy championship because of Jamar Chase before we wrap this up?
Quite a bit.
Probably a good number of them. Whoever was in the championship game and had Jamar Chase, yeah, they probably won.
Look.
You lost by what, 56, I'm going to say? Or something like that.
And I put up a decent amount too. St. Brown.
You put up 130 something.
Put up 120 something. I put up 128. St. Brown.
He was on your bench. All right, so the final score was 187.44 to 132.10. So that is 54 point something.
Jamar Chase literally carried you to a championship.
Well, if you take out Jamar Chase, it'd been a tie game, essentially.
So he carried you to a championship.
Pretty much.
Exactly. Yes. So it's okay. Congratulations.
It's all right. 55.34 was the difference, while Jamar Chase had 55.60. So if you take out Jamar Chase, it would have been you beating me by like 0.3 or something like that.
How about that?
But then also, if I had to take out somebody from your team, you would also have lost. So
I know if I'd have put St. Brown in instead of Antonio Brown, I probably
would have still lost. Still would have lost.
I know I still would have lost, but it would have looked cooler.
It would have looked better.
It would have looked cooler. That's what I'm gonna say. It would have looked cooler in that case. It would have felt a little bit better knowing I put everything I had out there. If I'd have put him and Brandon Cooks, and if I hadn't believed in Jalen Waddle against Tennessee, but it's okay. It's okay.
I mean, I gotta put in Elijah Mitchell instead of Keenan Allen. So
there will be a new season.
There'll be a new season. You won't have nobody new coming in and taking your crown. It'll be all right.
I'm about to log off this right now.
All right, peoples. That's enough for tonight, guys. I think this is probably our longest episode ever. Just two guys
Yes.
chilling on this
Right.
YouTube channel for
Chilling
the
out,
whole world to see.
having a good time, just relaxing.
Yeah. Flash will be back in 2 weeks. You got some stuff you got to do again.
But this was fun. I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah.
If you have not already, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and
Be a
follow
friend.
all
Tell a friend.
below. Yes,
Yep,
please
be a friend. Tell a friend. Retweet it if you're on Twitter. I mean, shout out Ashton Harris and Tyler Sandick, I guess too. What the hell for the? I mean, Ashton Harris had some good questions. I like that. I like this. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to get the comments in here. We answer the questions. You know how it is. I mean, this was good. We had everything in this episode, I think. What do you think, J Peeps?
We had a little bit of everything. We touched on a lot of stuff tonight.
I mean, did we miss on anything? I don't think we missed on anything.
We really didn't. We left no stone unturned, honestly. I don't think.
Just that LSU is wide receiver university. That's the only thing we didn't talk about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true fact.
Well, the 2019 LSU is wide receiver university. Let's just leave it like that. And just remember, you got Keyshawn Boot next season. So, I mean, he was gonna break the Jamar Chase's LSU records. So, before he got hurt. So,
we'll see. But yeah, folks, y'all stay safe. Y'all have a blessed night. Y'all stay safe. We had a lot of fun doing this. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Yep.
Oh snap! I thought that was the. Oh geez. Oh my gosh. That's
they didn't even drink anything and you hit the wrong button.
Well, actually, I did before I came on here, but we're not gonna talk about that.